Letters, 1959-1960. A cousin in Texas recently sent me stacks of letters that my late mother saved. After she died in 1984, Mom's sister Charlotte and other family members preserved them, and now they've come to me. They're from 1959 and 1960 when my parents had separated. My father was in France where my parents had moved after their 1955 wedding, while my mother returned home with my brother and me to Tyler, Texas, where Charlotte and her family lived. The letters come from the era of airmail. Most were from my father writing in longhand on his corporate stationery. My mother typed her letters on carbon paper so she would have a copy for herself. These letters are a harrowing glimpse into what parents in conflict say to each other. In my father's letters, I can hear the wheedling, browbeating tone that sounded so familiar from my tense visits to him as a teen when he lived in Manhattan. He alternated between trying to cadge money from Mom for his loser business projects and berating my mother for her personality, her post-childbirth appearance, and her baffling need to work to support her two sons. On December 4th, 1959, he wrote, "Since you are still sulking in your shell, I'll say a few things. As you can see, I am in no position to send you money. If you have confidence in me, then do what you once proposed. Sell everything and come back, or bring the stocks and some money, or get a loan on the stocks." On January 12, 1960, he wrote, "I only remember before our marriage and that other girl I knew and loved, not the middle-aged woman that I lived with. So I wipe away the past 5 years because I hardly remember anything happy or pleasant, and unhappiness fades away. Now there's only the boys to show for it, and soon they too will lose their meaning to me because I can't see them grow up or help raise them. They're just a couple of boys who have my name." What a charmer! And he was true to his word. My brother and I saw him one weekend in 10 years. That's between 1962 and 1972. In March 1960, he wrote, "There was a lot you gave to your father. Where is the money from the estate? Anyway, I am super broke." In other letters, he told my mother to go to charm school, and he made snide comments about their sex life. Oh, and he ordered her to hawk her wedding ring for cash. My mother's letters start in a wistful, even loving mood, but they soon turn to exasperation and her steely determination to move on with the life of a divorced working mother in South Texas. She would not hawk her wedding ring nor return to France. On November 28th, she wrote, "If all your troubles were just plain hard luck, I could be sorry for you, but I think you brought so much of this on yourself. The day I married you, you didn't have a dime, and now you're broke again but badly in debt. This time you work it out alone. I am going on with the divorce. This life is going to get me if I don't. You know a person can stand just so much." Over 50 years later, my partner Naomi, who met my father numerous times, aptly described him as a naive con man. Mom would certainly agree with that. These letters are grueling to read, knowing my brother and I were ensnared in them. But I also have scores of letters my mother wrote to me when I was in college and starting my career as a journalist in New York. They are much more enjoyable to read. She remained a salty, engaged mother, sister, friend, and letter writer until her death at 63. And my father, he never changed his tone, only his targets. When I was a teenager, he said I walked like a girl. He also waved a check for $100,000 in front of me and declared that that would send me to college. Well, he never paid a dime for my education. In my 40s, he told me to lose weight. In my 50s, he hung up the phone on me when I told him my brother and I weren't going to bail him out of his problems with the IRS. He lived into his 90s, long enough to become a great-grandfather. He showed as little interest in that role as he did in being a father and grandfather. And why should he be interested? We were just boys who had his name. And I know that because he put it in writing. Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He would have turned 90, he would have turned 96 next Tuesday.
Wow. Naive con man. And your mother died at 63?
Yeah, he outlived her by 34 years.
Oh, jeez.
No justice in that.
No. And when you were holding up the airmail envelopes,
Yeah.
don't they do airmail anymore? The way you spoke about it was like they don't do it anymore. That it's
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's airmail when you're sending things internationally, but if you're getting yarn from Latvia or something, then I guess it goes airmail. But it just seems like such a kind of a remnant of another era with all the email and texting and Skyping. So
yeah. No, I never thought about that, but you're right. I mean, who needs airmail anymore more? Because I don't know. Most of my friends who live overseas, I contact through email.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Well, thank you, Van.
Okay.
That was incredibly interesting.
I'm gonna do more with the theme.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.